What's going on, guys? It is Chikoy for the dragonfiles.net, and now we are on our part 11 of the HTML tutorial series, where we are going to cover all about HTML tables. So let's get started. Open our context editor. So if you haven't downloaded yet the context editor, you can see on my channel I have a tutorial there on how to get that context editor. So let's get started. So first, let's fill in the basic format for the HTML codes, which includes the tags opening HTML and closing HTML, and of course with the body, open and closing body. So to represent a table, what we need is a tag called table. Tables have rows and columns. So first, what we have to do is add rows. So rows are represented using the opening and closing tr tags. So let's close that first row, and let's create another, because we want a table with 2 rows and 2 columns. So first, let's fill in. Let's make a cell where we're going to input the content that we want to add. So first, let's add some table data. Each table data represents a column, and of course we also have to close it with /td. And another one to make a 2 column. So first, let's just type in the table data and let's see the result later in just a bit. And another one. So let's type in the content. Let's type in content 1 and content 2. For this one, we're gonna input content 3 and content 4. So what we want to see is a table with 2 rows and 2 columns. So first, let's save it on my desktop. Tables.html, and hit save. And let's open it with our favorite browser. So there you go, there's a little error here because this tag should not be showing up. So what we have to do is check this code, and so this makes the mistake. Just remove that space there and hit refresh. So we now have our table, but we can't actually see the real table, because most browsers sets its table default to 0. That's why we can't see any border or any table on our web page. So to show the table, all we have to do is go to our HTML code, and on the table you just have to add the attribute called border and give it a value of 1. So let's save it, hit Ctrl S and refresh the page. So as you see, we now have our table which have 2 rows and 2 columns. So let's take a look again to our codes. So explain it one by one. The table tag represents the start and end of the table. And the tr tag, which means table row, indicates that we want a new row on our table. And the next line is this, the table data tag, or the TD tag. So this is the most important part of the table, because in this where we are going to put the content that we want to add on our tables. So imagine that you have a row there and there's nothing yet inside it. All we have to do now is add data cells or table datas. So every time you add table data tags between table rows, you'll have the ability to add contents inside the tables. So if you add another one here and another one here, you'll have a total of 2 rows and 3 columns because we have 3 table datas on the top row, and on the bottom row we also have 3 table datas. So first, let's see it. Let's refresh it. As you see, we now have 3 table columns and 2 table rows. Let's go back to our code. Now, if we want to add another row, all we have to do is add tags. tr opening and closing tr tags. If you save it like that, you'll have nothing on the bottom. So to add contents on that row, all we have to do is again add table data tags. So let's see and try it. So we can just copy this one and paste it here to make it faster. So let's go to our web page and refresh it. So as you see, we now have 3 rows and 3 columns and a total of 9 data cells. So when you look on our codes, this attribute, which is the border, can be changed into any thickness you want. So let's try it on 10, and so that's the effect if you increase the thickness of the border. So for now, that's it for the tables. Watch out for the part 2, and probably there will be a part 3 of the tables, because we have a lot of things to discuss here. There are, on the next lessons, you'll see how to add background color, background image for a cell or for the whole table, empty cells, and cell span, and many more. On my website, you can visit it on thedragonfiles.net. You can go there and scroll down, and on the right side you can select HTML tutorials, or on the top click build a website and then choose HTML, and on lesson 11 just scroll down to lesson 11, and you can see here you can download the PDF file. So that's lessons, previous lessons. Here you can download it on ShareFlare. I created these files and it contains every basics of the tables, of the HTML tables. Pay a visit on my website. It's www.thedragonfiles.net, and you can see there are more tutorials. So that's it for the tables part 1. It is Jkoy for thedragonfiles.net.